So you want to become a real estate agent, but you're really not sure where to start? I'm going to break down the steps that I took to become one right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Toby the Realtor. This week we're going to be breaking down what it takes to become a real estate agent. This is going to be a very loose breakdown of how I became an agent. So, first thing you have to ask yourself is,
Tell me, Mr. Bond, what kind of agent are you?
there are some questions that go with this. The main one is, what is your why? Why do you want this job? What are your goals from this job? And then what is your motivation for this job? Once you can answer that, then you can move on. All right. Now, there's some things that I feel are beneficial to being in this position is one, you have to be fully self-motivated. You have to be the one that's a go-getter. That entrepreneurial mindset is a very fitting place for a real estate agent. It helps to be a social person. Remember, these are all my opinions. It helps to be a social person, all right? If you can go out and have conversations with anybody and everybody, then you're going to do better because you don't want to be that schmarmy person that's just like, hey, how you doing? You know, you want to be more of that, be a genuine, be yourself, but be able to talk to people, you know, in a comfortable way about anything, okay? So it's just getting out and being social. Now, I know I understand it's a little hard right now, but as things tend to progress, it's going to help to be a social person. Now, it also helps to be a problem solver in high stress situations. In my previous career, I was a coach and I dealt with many different things coming at me all at once when it came to just high stress. So, you know, if you can handle high stress situations, then, you know, you'll be able to benefit from that because you know you've handled it in the past. Understand that once you have clients, they're making the biggest purchase that they'll probably ever make in their lifetime, and a home is nothing to really just kind of scoff at. Now, you might get investors, you might get other people that are like, yeah, I've been through this before, not a big deal. But for new buyers, you know, it's their first purchase. It's a big purchase. So if you've ever bought a home, you understand. If you remember buying your first home, you'll understand. So those are some key, you know, I guess ingredients that you would take, you know, with you as you move forward in this whole process. Second question is,
What does an agent do?
an agent is the person that does the legwork between the buying and the selling side, okay? It's kind of an intermediary person, but we're also handling more than just, you know, it's not just legwork, all right? Just a quick little thing. On the buying side, you know, you're not just searching websites and trying to find the person, you know, their perfect home. What you're really doing is, you know, it all depends, but you're helping that buyer, you know, depending on if they're a new buyer, old buyer, investor, you're helping them with the steps to the process, or you're helping them along and, you know, guiding them in the right direction so they get all their forms filled out right, they're getting everything done right on time so everything can close smoothly. Finally, on the buying side is you're finding the right home or property for your client based on their needs. Now, I tell people that, you know, you're not going to find 100% home, right? You can get close, and it's your job as an agent to get close to finding them that thing that ticks all the boxes. But the truth is it's very difficult, especially in, you know, most markets, that you're going to find that 100% home unless they're building one themselves. So I always try to shoot for, and I tell my clients this right off the bat, I say, we're going to try to find you an 80% home. If we get above 80%, that's ticking all the boxes, then we're in a good place. All right. So next thing, on the selling side, you know, you're guiding them on home prep. You're guiding them on pricing. You're helping them stage their home. There's a lot of involvement as far as advertising, you know, prepping the home, taking pictures, doing all the right things. And also, you know, just like on the buyer side, you're helping them with taking the steps through the process and making sure that they get all of their side done in a timely manner so it can close on time and they get paid on time. I could go over what a real estate agent does, you know, on a completely other video, and it would be an hour long or more because there's a lot that goes into it, but those are some basics. So up next is
Where to start?
requirements. All right, simple as this. You got to be 18. You got to live in this state. You got to do a background check. And then the third thing is you got to complete 3 college level courses. Now, those courses consist of One, Real Estate Principles. It's a really thick book. It's very dry. It will put you to sleep really fast. Second, Real Estate Practice. It's not as thick, still it will put you to sleep. Third is you have to complete one of the following. All right, I'm going to run them down really quick. Ready? Business law, common interest developments, computer applications in real estate, escrows, general accounting, legal aspects of real estate, mortgage loan brokering and lending, property management, real estate appraisals, real estate economics, real estate finance, real estate office administration. Okay, as I said, take the first two in mind, get the third, pick one out of the long list that I just said, and then go from there. All right, just remember that the test alone will be on the two first ones that I mentioned, the real estate principles, real estate practice. That is going to be the bulk of your test. I took my classes at accredited real estate school in Sacramento, California. Now, the cost for those, and I'm going to do a cost breakdown here in a little bit, but the costs range from $169 to $678, and it ranges from here's your books, study at home, to come in, you also get online tutoring, you get all the things, all the bells and whistles. I did the middle of the range because I needed to go into class, and I needed to be the one, I'm that guy that needs to go into class and be around other people that are studying the same as me. So that's the way I got it done, is I did the middle range for like $400, and I got it done that way. And it was actually really nice because then I had the beauty of being right there with the instructor, and she could answer all the questions that I had right then and there.
Apply for your license.
Once you get everything done, you make sure you're 18, you've taken all your exams and passed all your classes and everything like that, then you get to apply at the Department of Real Estate. Now, when you apply, you're basically signing up for the exam and you're signing up for your license. Now, you have the option to do these things separately, but I chose to do them together, mainly because once you pass your test, you get your license automatically. It's a done deal. You don't have to go back and apply for your license as well. Now, there's some costs involved with this, which I'll go over at the end, just to kind of break everything down for you. So, my biggest thing is once you fill all that stuff out and you get approved, you can take your time because you're going to be waiting. I think right now the current wait time before they schedule your exam is about 8 weeks. So their processing time is roughly about 8 weeks. Don't quote me on that because it's constantly changing. Mine, they said it was going to be 8 weeks, but it was actually only 6. So what do you do during those 6 weeks? You study your ass off, right? No questions asked. You've got plenty of time. Don't just think, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Study every day. Depending on the courses that you're taking or the courses you've signed up for, they may have online tests that you can use and practice on. Take those constantly. If they're anything like what I did and the school that I went through, they are very close to what the real estate exam is going to be. All right. Now, if I haven't said it yet, no, I'll get to that. But that's how I studied, is I used a lot of the practice tests over and over and over again, and it gave me a readout of where I was weak and in what areas and where I needed to work on. So take that with a grain of salt. However you want to study, study. But the point is, take that time once you've done everything and you've got that time before you get to go in and take your exam. Take the time to study. Don't put it off because, well, then you'll screw yourself when it comes to the exam. Right. Next up.
Exam time!
Ooh, it's that day. Exam day. And it's exam time. What does that mean? Well, as fun as it sounds, it's 150 multiple choice questions. You get 3 hours to answer all those questions, and it's a 70% pass requirement. Now, here's the fun part. I'm going to explain the test. The way I did it was you're not allowed anything in the test room except for your ID. All right, you check everything. No phones, no nothing. It's like SATs, but worse. They give you a mouse, they give you your ID. I think you have some scratch paper and a pencil. All right, that's what I remember. It was a couple years ago, so I'm trying to remember all. It was a cold, dark room. That's not a joke. It was a cold, dark room. You have a computer screen in front of you in a table, and you're literally just clicking through questions over and over and over again. So be prepared for that because that's the way it was for me. Now, when it comes to getting your results, say you get the test done, great, grand, and you're like, felt good, all right? Now, when I left my test, personally, I was like, we'll see what happens. When I left, or when you leave, you can get all your stuff back because you check it in a locker, but you get all your stuff back and they give you a sheet of paper that's taped, folded and taped, and they say, don't open this until you get outside. And you walk outside, and no joke, they lock the door behind you. Basically, so you can't go back in there and retaliate if you failed, all right? If you pass, great. I passed, it was awesome. Super stoked, all right? If not, if you didn't pass, say you didn't pass, no worries. You have 2 years from the time the Department of Real Estate received your application, and you have no limit on the amount of attempts that you can take that test. So all is great. Go back, study more, take it again. All right? Cool.
Money, 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 money.
Classes, $399. Exam and license fees was $305. The third one was the background check and fingerprint scan. That was, I think for me, that was roughly $75. I did it at a UPS store. Next up is I'm a member of REBA, which is the Real Estate Brokers Association here in La Jolla. It's a group of over 600 agents, and we get together on a weekly basis and either figure out what we need, figure out what we have, present listings. It's an informational meeting, happens every week, and it keeps me abreast of what's going on in the market in La Jolla. That is $110 for 6 months. Next one is a little bit bigger. It is the North San Diego County Association of Realtors. That one is $518 a year. Now what that is that gives me access to the MLS, which if I have a listing, I input that into the listing. It gets pushed out to all the Zillow, the Redfin, all those search engines. It gets pushed out to that. On top of that, it allows me to search for properties. It gives me some brief inside information when it comes to the property itself. Nothing crazy, but more information than you're getting on those normal websites that you see. Next up is the National Association of Realtors. That is $150 a year. Then on top of that, yes, there's more. On top of that, when you join a brokerage, you have to join a brokerage unless you're starting your own. That's more fees and more tests. But on top of that, you have brokerage fees. Now, Caldwell Banker has a little bit of a split system. If you have a desk, it's $179. If you don't have a desk and you're a mobile agent, you only pay $99. So as you can see, I have a desk. This is my desk. Don't be too impressed. It is $179 for me every month. So keep that in mind. Now, total of all that is $1,661. Now, that may seem like a lot right off the bat, but think about what you're going to do when you make your first sale. And I'm going to break down a sale here coming up shortly. But once you make a sale, you're going to cover that easily. Okay, now, I'm not saying it's easy to make a sale. I'm not saying it's hard either. But I'm saying once you make that first sale, you're going to cover it. Now, I've covered a lot in this video, and hopefully it didn't get too jumbled. That's the way I went through with getting my real estate license. Hopefully it made some sense for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I am an open book when it comes to this whole process and the way things work in real estate. I mean, I'm just here for information, so if I got something wrong, feel free to let me know. I'm sure the comments will blow up if I did get something wrong. Speaking of that, do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe, do all the YouTubey things to make it seem awesome and make it seem like I'm awesome. Stay tuned for the next episode where I'll be covering choosing your brokerage. Up until then, thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you next time. Oh, come on, Toby. Have an entrepreneurial. You get to apply. You get to apply. You see that? Eyes twitching.